Welcome to Đồng Nai Radio and Television Station. Here are the news today. The Vietnam Maritime Administration said that, despite the complicated developments of the COVID-19, cargoes through seaports in the first 8 months of 2020 remained positive. According to statistics, in the first 8 months of 2020, the total output of goods through Vietnam's seaports reached nearly 485.3 million tons, increasing 6% over the same period in 2019. According to the Vietnam Maritime Administration statistics, in the first 7 months of the year, although maritime activities still being affected by the COVID-19, some seaport areas still have high volume of cargo. Those are Quảng Trị Seaport increased by more than 73%. Quảng Ngãi area increased by more than 43%. Besides, some seaport areas such as Nam Định, Cần Thơ, Thanh Hóa, Thái Bình also had a relatively high increase from 20 to 33% over the same period in 2019. After nearly a month since the first case of COVID-19 reappeared in the community, Vietnam has controlled this epidemic more systematically and methodically. This is the statement of Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc at the meeting on the afternoon of August 21 with the National and Local Steering Committee on COVID-19 Epidemic Prevention. At a meeting, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc highly appreciated and praised the National Steering Committee, especially localities and functional sectors, for new, creative, and drastic ways such as establishing a forward headquarters, prompting zoning and tracing. Besides, new technologies have been strongly applied to anti-epidemic, especially testing and tracking of COVID-19 cases. The Prime Minister emphasized that the epidemic is still complicated. It is necessary to continue to raise vigilance and discuss new policies in the current context. At a meeting, the leaders of Da Nang said that in the past few days, the numbers of new cases in the province decreased from 2 to 6 cases per day, mainly isolated cases. Every day, there are 5 to 6 cases getting discharged. Da Nang focuses on tracing subjects who have been to areas at high risk in the city and did not report, including people who have been to Da Nang Hospital. Da Nang city leaders affirmed that Da Nang could control the epidemic by the end of this August. The Ministry of Health recommends people to continue to maintain measures to prevent epidemics, such as wearing masks, measuring body temperature, washing hands, and keeping distance from each other while talking. The localities reviewed the scenarios to respond to all pandemic situations, continue to control entry cases, especially hospitals must ensure safety criteria for COVID-19 epidemic prevention, and any hospital that fails to meet it will not be able to operate. As the chairman of the ASEAN Committee in New York, Ambassador Đặng Đình Quý, permanent representative of Vietnam to the United Nations, took the initiative to organize and preside over the dialogue between the ambassadors and delegations of ASEAN countries to the United Nations and Mr. Volkan Bokic. At the meeting, Mr. Bokic stated that the priority of the 75th session of the United Nations General Assembly was to successfully hold the high-level government meeting and the United Nations 75th anniversary session in September 2022, with the combining forms of meeting online and offline events. He highly appreciated ASEAN's role and contribution to the United Nations. He hoped that ASEAN countries would contribute to promoting solidarity and unity of the United Nations and the Security Council. Meanwhile, the ambassadors and delegations of ASEAN countries highly appreciated the United Nations' efforts to respond to the COVID-19 epidemic and maintain the work of the organization. ASEAN representatives pledged to strengthen close cooperation between ASEAN and the United Nations General Assembly in the coming time. In the context of a complicated pandemic situation, World Health Organization (WHO) Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the organization hopes the COVID-19 crisis could be terminated in less than 2 years. Speaking at a press conference in Geneva on August 21, the head of WHO said, "And in our situation now, with more technology and, of course, with more connectiveness, the virus has a better chance of spreading. It can move fast because we are more connected now. But at the same time, we have also the technology to stop it and the knowledge to stop it." According to him, the Spanish flu, which broke out in 1918, was also over after 2 years. WHO epidemiologist Maria Van Kerkhove added that more research was needed on the impact of mutations in the coronavirus. She said, "A special working group has been formed to identify mutations, and we're looking at how we can better understand what the mutation means and how they behave." According to her, there are currently many studies on coronavirus transmissions among children in different age groups. However, knowledge about this condition is still limited. That is the end of the news today. Thank you for tuning in.